Number 2, AB 685, and file item 18, AB 2331. So if we could establish a quorum, please, would the assistant call the roll?
Hill?
Here.
Hill here, Bates? Here. Bates here, Block? Here. Block here, Gaines? Galgiani? Here. Galgiani here, Hernandez? Here. Hernandez here, Jackson? Here. Jackson here, Mendoza? Wachowski?
Very good. We do have a quorum established, and if we could have a motion on the consent calendar? So moved. Motion from Senator Jackson, please call.
What are the items?
Item number 2 and 18.
Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Bates?
Aye.
Bates, aye. Block?
Aye.
Block, aye. Gaines? Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Hernandez? Hernandez, aye. Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, aye. Mendoza? Wachowski? 6.
We have 6 votes on the consent calendar. There are enough votes to get out, but we'll hold the roll open for those absent members. And now we will stand in recess until we get some members and authors for some bills this afternoon. Thank you. To order, and we are back out of our recess, and I see Assemblymember Mainshine. Please come forward. We have item number 10, AB 1950 will be our first item today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much for allowing us to present our bill here today. A telecoil or a T-coil is a small copper coil that is an option on most hearing aids and is designed to boost signals received from electronic devices. Hearing aids with an activated telecoil can convert these signals into a sound signal in which only the magnetic signal is amplified. They have been proven to be very effective and have helped those with hearing loss access numerous public venues and technologies. Hearing loss can be a difficult and often overwhelming experience to navigate. One of the most important decisions a person makes is the type of hearing aids he or she will purchase. Hearing aids vary in price based on the technology that is needed to properly address the patient's needs. One of the most basic yet helpful pieces of technologies found in most hearing aids is the telecoil. However, according to the Hearing Loss Association, approximately 71% of all hearing aids dispensed in the U.S. have telecoils, yet many consumers may not be told about them, and even fewer know how to use them. AB 1950 will help to educate consumers about the technologies and hearing aids available to them at the time of purchase. The bill will require the Speech Language Pathology, Audiology, and Hearing Aids Dispensers Board to develop a consumer hearing aid disclosure that will contain information regarding hearing aid technology and options available to the consumer, including the use and management of telecoils. The disclosure will be handed to the consumer at the point of sale and will be designed to facilitate a more informed conversation with their hearing health care provider. With the cost of hearing aids reaching upwards of $4,000, it's critical to educate consumers about what technologies are out there. Several states have passed legislation that would increase the awareness of telecoils in hearing aids through similar disclosures. Like AB 1950, those bills were designed to educate consumers about the availability and uses of assisted listening devices such as telecoils and hearing aids. Here to speak in support of AB 1950 is Deborah Rogers. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to testify about this very important issue. The goal of this bill is simple. We want consumers to be better educated about features available in hearing aids so they can make informed decisions about which hearing aids are best for them in order to make life more accessible. For those of you unfamiliar with telecoils, let me briefly explain how they work. Let's say this room is looped, equipped with a hearing loop, connected to microphones in front of you. As a hearing aid wearer with an activated telecoil, I would simply click a button, and that quick I can hear and better understand what you are saying through my hearing aids. No additional equipment or devices required. While it has been suggested that this is old technology, telecoils and hearing loops are more popular than ever. A nationwide Loop America campaign has been initiated, advocating for hearing loop installations in churches, courthouses, theaters, and universities. In 2015, the Supreme Court was looped. The Hearing Loss Association of America, HLAA, with its 2,200 plus chapters, are all promoting hearing loops in their communities. 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with hearing loss. I did research as much as I could, not knowing about hearing aids, and I purchased my own. I went to an HLAA meeting, and then I learned that my hearing aids needed to have a telecoil activated in order for me to hear in a looped environment. I went back to my audiologist. I asked about telecoils. He said, yes, here you go. Let's set them up. And he pushed a button, and within 30 seconds, I had activated telecoils that were already in my hearing aids. Finally, telecoils have allowed me to participate in looped conventions, churches, and theaters because I can focus better and understand what people are saying to me. I don't have to use captioning, which I'm using today, ask others to tell me what was said, or miss the words altogether. As consumers, we should be informed about the features that may already exist in our hearing aids. We hope that you pass this bill to help make our lives more accessible. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Other witnesses in support? Is there anyone here in support? Please come forward if you like. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abby Mabratu, and I'm here in support.
Very good.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else here, others in support? Is there anyone here in opposition to the bill? No. Just a... Opposition. Opposition, yes. Please.
You have a few more support.
Oh, yeah. Well, please come forward. If you're here in opposition, please come forward. Thank you. Hi.
Andy Gray, I'm here to support.
Very good. Thank you very much. If you'd like just to say that, that microphone right there would work, and you don't have to come all the way. Thank you for coming today.
David Bear, I support Bill 1950.
Very good. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Christine Bear, I'm here to support the 1950.
Thank you very much. Others in support? Those in opposition? Mr. Brokaw, if... That would be fine. You could come back up then. Go ahead, Barry.
Thank you, Senator.
Very good. Good afternoon.
Mr. Chairman and members, Barry Brokaw on behalf of the California Academy of Audiology, representing the state's licensed audiologist. And we are here to oppose the measure because this measure would ask audiologists and dispensers to talk about one type of device, one type of technology with their patients. And audiologists have a practice act. They are licensed and provide the best advice to hearing impaired patients as to what will alleviate their hearing loss. It's in their practice act. And T-coils are appropriate for many types of hearing maladies, but they aren't appropriate for all. As a matter of fact, it can be counterindicated for some patients, folks who have dementia, folks who have arthritis, children, folks who stream a lot at their house that have a lot of FM products. If you are using a smartphone and you have a T-coil and you put it near a microphone, as often you members find out, you get a buzz. So there are electromagnetic fields that come into play, and what I'm really trying to say is that to have audiologists talk about one type of hearing aid component part or device after the sale just doesn't make a lot of sense to us. I have with me Dr. Rebecca Beignet, who has been a practicing audiologist for 34 years, was a former member of the State Licensing Board, which, by the way, also opposes this bill in this form. And I wanted to have Dr. Beignet talk about T-coils. I must say that our position is opposed unless amended. We think it's appropriate for the Speech Language Pathology, Audiology, and Hearing Aid Dispensers Board to have a bulletin or information on their website dealing with all sorts of hearing type issues, including T-coils, available to the public. We think that makes sense. But to have a licensed audiologist whose charge is to provide the best type of device for patients to talk about one type of component, only one, after the sale, doesn't make a lot of sense to us. So Dr. Beignet, please.
Hi. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak this afternoon. I I think that you've heard what the T-coil can do in a hearing aid, and I'm not here to tell you that they are a bad thing or that we do not agree with the use of T-coils. I think that what we attempt to do as experienced audiologists is talk about all of the different features and options that might be appropriate for a particular individual before they actually have to purchase a device. So we certainly would want to investigate their ability to use telephone and the kinds of technology that are available, of which the T-coil is one. And we would want to talk maybe about other assistive listening devices if they have needs for meetings and other situations, or if there's somebody who doesn't even use the telephone. We're certainly going to look at the individual patient's needs before determining what features we want in hearing aids. T-coils, as you heard, have been around for a long time. It's very popular to loop environments, but there are also other kinds of devices where an individual can use a streamer, something that they might be able to access a multitude of things, including the telephone. So I think that, I agree with what Barry already told you, that it's not that we oppose telecoils, it's just that singling that out as something that has to be done and done after the sale. It's also duplicative in that there is a federal mandate that with every hearing aid you dispense, there's a user guide. And so those hearing aids that have telecoil or telecoil options, that information on its use is going to be in those user manuals as well. And we are obligated to use those or provide information and training if not. So again, we oppose the bill not because we oppose telecoils, not because we are not in favor of the consumer, which we are. The consumer has always been first and foremost in my mind throughout my profession in 34 years, and talking about all the features and all of the new features, some of the older features I think is important, but singling out the telecoil is duplicative and not necessary.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Others in support, or in opposition, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Vanessa Kahina on behalf of the Hearing Healthcare Providers of California, the state's licensed hearing aid dispensers. Also with an oppose unless amended position, and do very much appreciate the work that the Assemblyman Mainshine has put into this bill along with the staff, but to say that our client has absolutely no problem with the disclosure piece of it, but by and large, we're small business owners, and it would be onerous and duplicative for them to provide an extra level of information. We would support the board providing a disclosure. We would be happy to include it as a link on the existing paperwork that we provide to patients. However, at this point, we're unable to come as neutral on the bill due to the fact that each hearing aid dispenser also has to have an internal discussion with their patient as to what the best technology is going to be for them. Not all systems are looped, despite the fact that we would like to make all places more accessible to our patients. But for all these reasons, it's difficult for us to get behind it right now and have to remain as opposed unless amended. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Others in opposition? Seeing no one, bringing it back. Assemblymember Mainshine, would you like to respond to some of those? And a specific question that I had was, and I thought I heard the supporter talk about that 70% of the hearing aids have the T-coil technology in them already.
Yeah.
And is the purpose of the bill to then, and the reason it's after the sale, to make sure that those people understand that their ability to utilize that technology when they're in a venue?
I think that's an accurate summation of it. This product is already really universal. In fact, the ADA requires it. It's in, I believe, 100% of the cell phones. So it's something that's already in use. It is, what we're talking about is merely a disclosure. And all of us, when we go to buy a car, get our oil changed, whatever it is, all of us get paperwork that comes with a disclosure. Now, it is obviously, like with anything, it is up to the consumer to look at it, to read it. But it's to facilitate that, and probably not everybody will.
Is it something that would say, after you purchase the item, that if your aid is included a T-coil type technology, is that what the idea is? And
Correct,
I'm not putting
Mr.
words in your
No,
mouth,
no,
I'm just
that's
trying
correct.
to understand it.
Yep.
And so maybe you could respond to some of
Sure.
the comments that were raised by the opposition. Would you like to do that, or do you want to?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would
please.
like to just, and then I can ask Deborah to come up as well. I think the main point of this is to facilitate a discussion between the recipient and their provider. It doesn't recommend a brand or a company. There's a whole host of companies that produce this technology, but it is to allow people in a public, and where this technology is incredibly important is in the public venue and in a public space where it's oftentimes difficult for people with hearing loss to participate in these public venues. This technology facilitates that, and that is why the ADA requires this technology. So it's been kind of universally accepted that this technology is effective in allowing people with hearing loss to participate. From there, now we're just talking about, as opposed to saying you must purchase some type of product or another. No, it is merely a disclosure. And I don't know if, Ms. Rogers, if you have anything you wanted to add to that.
Sorry, I'm catching up on the reading. My apologies. One thing that I did want to bring up is that me personally, I have hearing aids. I have hearing aids with telecoils. Nothing on my initial purchase or the paperwork that came with it said anything about telecoils, because that's something that I've gone back through and asked my audiologist about. So the concern, the reason I brought this this concern to Assemblymember Mainshine was that people are getting hearing aids with telecoils and not hearing about it at all until they go and talk to somebody else who's heard about it from somebody else. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak today, and my goal is to be able to work with audiologists, be able to work together so that we're saying as consumers, this is what we'd like to make sure that other people with hearing aids find out and, and work together on this.
And does the board require, the bill requires the board to determine the best method of the notification?
So they would be able to create the language that would do this. So it's not even mandated specific language.
Thank you. Other questions of yes, Senator Bates.
I'm going to move the bill, but I do have a concern, and I'd like you to work a little closer with the opposition. But if I go in to get a hearing aid and it doesn't have a telecoil in it, what is the provider telling me? Because you're saying most of them have a telecoil in them, so it's really telling me that your device is equipped with this, and here's how you activate it. Is that it? Because it sounds like there aren't many, if any, that don't have it in it. So I'm kind of confused as why there's controversy, to be honest, over it.
So a majority,
Except there's a concern that there's a mandate here, and maybe that's it. But I'd like to move the bill because I think it's
Very good. Thank you. I
not a
think
bad thing, but I think you guys need to work a little closer with the opposition because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Would you like to respond to that?
Yeah,
Yes, please,
I just
Doctor.
wanted
Thank
to
you.
say, too, that many hearing aids do have telecoils in them. Not all do. They're oftentimes limited by size and space. There may be cosmetic concerns or other physical mandates where a person can't have a particular device with a T-coil, or maybe they have hearing loss that's such that they can use another type of device for use on the phone. They might be able to put the phone right up to their ear and use it. In other listening situations, they might use a different type of assistive listening device. So there are many such things. The telecoil is one. It's been around a long time, so of course, and it is included in many devices, but not all. One of the other issues might be is if somebody, for example, does have dementia and they have a telecoil in their hearing aid and it's activated by pushing a button, then they may in fact activate the interference and get a buzz and think their hearing aid's not working. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen often, and hopefully we're adequately counseling families and patients. But again, we would be more than happy to work with the authors of the bill, and but we just feel like it's not necessary to single out that one thing. If somebody does buy hearing aids with telecoils, I'm very sorry that her hearing aids, that she did not get any information on it, because we are required to give a booklet that tells how to use the features of the hearing aid, which would include telecoil.
Very good. Thank you, Doctor. Other questions or comments? Hearing none, we do have a motion. Would you like to close?
Respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you very much. We have a motion to pass to Senate Appropriations. Please call the roll.
Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Bates? Bates, aye. Block? Gaines? Galgiani? Hernandez? Jackson? Mendoza? Wadkowski?
That bill has 2 votes. We'll hold the roll open for absent members and see. Thank you very much. move to item number 1. Assemblymember Jones, so you're still here somewhere. Oh. Sorry, you came out of left field for me. Thank you, Reggie. Item number 1, AB 26. Please begin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. I would like to thank you and the committee staff for the collaborative effort with my office on this. I would like to thank you and the committee staff for their collaborative effort with my office on this bill. AB 26 will require a state licensee to implement a training program for the licensee's agents and employees regarding compliance with the Medical Marijuana Regulation and Safety Act, and would require that an application from state licensure include a detailed description of the applicant's program. The need for AB 26 comes from an unresolved issue following the signing of the collective bills which created MMRSA in 2015. At the time, there was not agreement on how best to handle the training of the workers who deal with ill patients, cultivate and manufacture the products for consumption, whether they are working directly with patients in the dispensary, cultivating on farms, or assisting in the manufacturing and processing of various products. Medical cannabis workers and the general public need to know that industry employees are educated in the best possible health, safety, and security standards set by the state. Before I conclude, I want to accept the committee's recently proposed amendments, and I will continue to work with the various stakeholders to see that the language ensures parity between the labor and cannabis industry affiliates as it relates to the implementation of training programs. Here to testify today is Sam Rodriguez, representing the sponsor, the United Food and Commercial Workers Western States Councils. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Very good. Thank you very much. Witnesses in support.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Sam Rodriguez, United Food and Commercial Workers, State Legislative Director. We represent approximately 160,000 workers, predominantly in the grocery industry and pharmacy. However, we have been the leading labor union throughout the country in representing cannabis workers. In California, we represent approximately over 1,600 cannabis workers throughout the state. And over the last 3 years, and particularly last year, we all sort of came together with the police chiefs, the building and trades, the Teamsters, the California League of Cities, and really put a strong emphasis on training the workforce in this industry, which is coming out of the underground economy. We truly believe that in protection of the state interests, the protection of medical patients, the protection of consumers, and for the integrity of the industry to move forward in a valuable way and add value to our economy, that the workers should be trained and certified. And we respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Others in support.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Jeremy Smith here on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council. I'd like to thank this committee, your staff, and the sponsors, the sponsor and the author for helping us figure out the amendments today, specifically one of them around the training of these workers. With those amendments in the mock-up form, we are happy to support the bill and urge your aye vote.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Others in support.
John Lovell on behalf of the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers, California College and University Police Chiefs Association, California Narcotic Officers Association, the Los Angeles County Professional Peace Officers Association, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, and the Riverside Sheriff's Association, all in support of this very good sense bill. It's axiomatic. When you have this kind of training, it will buttress the integrity of the industry.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Lovell. Others in support.
Marvin Pineda with the United Cannabis Business Alliance in support of the bill. Some of our members employ UFCW members. We believe that we need a strong job training program to ensure that workers are aware of all the requirements as we continue to pass legislation and regulations to try to shape the industry. We ask for an aye vote.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and committee members, Amy Jenkins with Platinum Advisors on behalf of the California Cannabis Industry Association. We support the bill with the committee amendments that were accepted by the author. We too support a robust training program for our employees and appreciate all the work that's been done by Mr. Chairman, the author, and staff. Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members, Tim Cromartie on behalf of the League of California Cities in support of the bill as proposed to be amended. This will provide important element to professionalize the workforce.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Lauren Michaels on behalf of the California Police Chiefs Association in support.
Thank you very much.
Michael Young on behalf of the California Labor Federation, also here in support.
Thank you.
Christopher Castrillo on behalf of the City of Santa Monica in support.
Very good. Thank you very much. Are there, yes, in support?
My name is Pearl Martin. I'm a dispensary worker here locally and in support.
Very good. Thank you. Are there, is there anyone here in opposition to the bill? Please come forward. See no one. Would any questions or comments? In fact, Senator Bates, I'm going to give you the gavel. I have to go present 3 bills in a committee. So. But I did have one question before, if I could. And I spoke with Mr. Rodriguez about this last week, and there are some individuals today who are providing some of this service as a mentoring and apprentice programs through the state agency, and they have concerns that they're being left out of this particular equation at the end of the day. And so I'd appreciate when we look at that and as it moves forward, hopefully, that you'll be able to take that into consideration.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I definitely will.
Thank you very much. I do. Thank you.
Jerry, did you call for opposition already?
I did, yes.
You did, okay, that was my question. I was curious as to why the Apprenticeship Standards Commission was eliminated specifically in statute. I didn't understand what their problem is in terms of being able to train people.
Thank you for that question. Jeremy Smith here again on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council. We're obviously not against training people, training workers.
Sure.
We believe in a very robust apprenticeship system. It's important that the current training system, the apprenticeship system in California that trains construction workers, maintain a very clear dividing line between, even if it's medical marijuana, but marijuana, drugs, and no drugs. And our apprenticeship training programs are very stringent on being drug-free. Our workers, our members operate heavy equipment. They have the lives of all their fellow construction workers in their hands on the job site. We just don't want there to be any commingling in the current apprenticeship system with training of workers in this industry, taking nothing away from the industry, not insinuating anything. We just want to make sure there's a clear dividing line when it comes to training workers in this industry as opposed to construction workers in their apprenticeship system.
Thank you. I'm still a little confused. I think what I'll do, there's any other comments from committees, members? Is there a motion? Oh, no, would you like to close? We'll have your author.
Thank you,
assembly
and
member,
respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Is there a motion? Moved. I'm going to lay off until I totally understand that. It's still a little confusing to me to put it specifically into statute, but I think it's a great bill other than that.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion is due pass as amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Hill, Bates, Block, Gaines, Galgiani. Galgiani, aye. Hernandez. Hernandez, aye. Jackson. Jackson, aye. Mendoza. Wachowski.
3 votes. 3 votes. We'll hold the roll open.
Okay, thank you very much.
Where is it? 873?
Oh, item 3.
Item 3. AB 873. Assembly Member Jones. O'Brien.
Good afternoon, Senators. Thank you for the opportunity to present AB 873. This has been quite an adventure in legislative work by both the Assembly Business and Professions Committee, the Senate Business and Professions Committee, Department of Consumer Affairs, the Bureau of Automotive Repair, industry stakeholders. I originally took this has become a 2-year bill, but actually for me has been a 4-year project. And I believe for the administration and BAR, something that's been in the works for around 6 years. Today I present to you AB 873, which will require the Bureau of Automotive Repair within the Department of Consumer Affairs to determine through regulation which automotive services are minor and which necessitate registration and bar oversight. Existing law does not adequately address the current market realities regarding service provided by automotive repair businesses. Your analysis rightly points out that this code has not been sufficiently updated since 1971, and cars certainly have changed since then. Current law specifically excludes some services which are once minor but now require technological specialization. Existing law leaves consumers vulnerable with no recourse through the Bureau to address substandard repairs, which could jeopardize consumer safety. For example, batteries that propel a vehicle in lieu of an internal combustion engine, such as powerful batteries in hybrid and in all electric vehicles, do require sufficient expertise to warrant registration with BAR, and AB 873 provides for that. AB 873 contains a provision that exempts from registration tow truck operators who exclusively provide emergency roadside assistance because of the unique and for the most part temporary nature of these services. For these reasons, existing law should be updated and a determination of what constitutes minor repair and major repair should be developed through the formal rulemaking process so that the Bureau takes a comprehensive technical approach to determine what business practices necessitate registration as an automotive repair dealer. This determination can be periodically updated through the rulemaking process as the automotive industry continues to evolve. And for these reasons, I ask for your aye vote and have several witnesses in support. Thank you.
Witnesses in support?
Madam Chair, members, Mike Knutson here on behalf of the Automobile Club of Southern California. This has been a tremendous amount of really fine work that was done by the committee and the chair, and we think it is the right answer and support it and would ask for your aye vote.
Additional witnesses?
Jeff Severs on behalf of the Auto Club of Northern California. Also like to say that we are in support and appreciate working with the author and committee staff and reaching this compromise. Thank you very much.
Mike Flanagan. Hear me? On behalf of Les Schwab Tire Centers, I also want to thank Senator Galgiani, who first introduced this concept some years ago. And it wasn't until last session, after the bill, pretty much as it is right now, receiving no votes in either the Senate or the Assembly, it was vetoed by the governor. And that, as you see in your analysis, is the governor's veto. And what the problem was up until that time that we were unaware of is that the administration wanted not just a fix for tires. It wanted an omnibus program to look at a law that's over 42 years old, that's never been amended, and let's put it together in a new modern technology of auto repair. So I want to thank the committee and the staff and Mr. Jones for giving us finally, I think, a very, very workable, doable bill. Thank you.
Additional witnesses in support?
Thank you. Jack Moladana from behalf of the Automotive Service Councils of California and the California Auto Body Association. We're in strong support of the bill. We want to thank the Assembly member for carrying the bill, and as well as the chairman who worked very hard in trying to address the issue with towing and roadside services. So we thank you, and we ask you to vote aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brooks Ellis on behalf of United Coalition for Motor Club Safety and California Tow Truck Association. We too want to thank the author and the committee for all the hard work.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Mike Belota on behalf of the California New Car Dealers Association in support.
Any additional witnesses in support? Those in opposition?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Stan Van Vleck, representing oil changers as well as the National Association for the Oil Change Industry, as well as have a representative here from oil changers. If I may, we oppose the bill unless amended. You'll see on page 5 in the analysis, it talks about that the bill should be amended to reflect a separate bill, SB 778 by Senator Allen, which creates a separate category for the oil change industry. All we are simply asking is that those bills be reconciled. So there's a reference in the Assemblyman's bill that would recognize this, because otherwise, in essence, you have two competing measures. You have one measure that sets up in statute this specific category, and in this bill here, you would have a reference to regulations that gives the agency authority to determine who would be providing repairs. This industry does not do repairs. This industry specifically comes in and provides maintenance. For repairs, you have to have someone who's an expert to come in and do a diagnosis of what the problem is, and then the diagnosis of the right fix. Whereas for our industry, we have people who come in, select from a menu that says, I'd like my oil changed, I'd like my windshield wipers replaced. And so it's a different industry, and Senator Allen has recognized that. And again, it's in the analysis. We're asking for that amendment as well. If that amendment is taken, we would remove our opposition. Finally, in just the 2 weeks since this has been put into place, we have over 7,000 letters that have come from our customers asking that this not take place, because this business was created for 2 reasons. It's very fast at what they do and cost effective. And if you take a look at the margins in this industry, they're 10%. If you take a look at the alternative, which would be going to car dealers, their margins are 30 to 40%. Customers have chosen. They don't want to necessarily go to car dealers all the time. With our client alone, in the last 4 years, they had over 2 million customers. So what we're asking is that this bill simply be recognized and put in sync with SB 778 to allow this category not to be pulled in 2 different directions. Thank you.
John Dunholm here representing the Automotive Oil Change Association and Oil Changer. I thank you for your consideration of this. We are looking to keep this business convenient as we have for the past 30 years. Our customers are a testament to what we do, and we appreciate your support.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition? There are none. Any questions from committee members? Assemblymember Jones, would you like to address the opposition's comments?
Thank you, Senator Bates. Actually, I agree with their comments, and we've had continuing conversations with all of the stakeholders. The one thing that I would mention, the 2 weeks, this has been 2 years, and we've had multiple meetings with lots of industry stakeholders, as many of you have as well in your offices. So take the number of meetings you've taken in your offices and multiply that by a factor as the number of meetings I've taken and the number of meetings that Senator Hill has taken in preparing specifically my bill, AB 873. The oil changers comments, I think, are directed towards Senate Bill 778, which is Senator Ben Allen. His bill is in Assembly B&P right now, waiting to be heard. I think that the proper time to take the amendments to my bill is if and when both bills get passed, then we'll take the double jointing language before it comes to the Senate floor so that we can take care of those concerns.
Okay, thank you. Should we consider that your close?
I just really want to quickly just thank Senator Hill. I wish he was here to hear me say it, but he knows I'm thankful. I also do want to thank Mr. Gage and his staff and the rest of Senator Hill's staff for working very diligently on this. It has been a long conversation, so I appreciate everybody's hard work on this.
Great, thank you.
And I ask for your aye vote.
Do we have a motion? We have a motion. Call the roll, please.
Motion is due pass the Senate Appropriations Committee. Hill. Bates.
Aye.
Bates, aye. Block. Gaines. Galgiani. Galgiani, aye. Hernandez. Hernandez, aye. Jackson. Mendoza. Wachowski. It's got 3 votes.
That's 3 votes that will keep the bill on call until the absent members.
Thank you very much.
Return.